Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. How was everybody on this wonderful, beautiful Saturday morning? Kind of odd weather for February, but I just hope we don't get no crazy snow blizzard or nothing like that, because usually when the weather warms up, we all know what happens. We get a surprise. So I don't ever I don't ever get used to it. I just be waiting for that cold blast to come through at like 10 degrees or whatever. But just wanted to share a little something with you guys today. So as everybody knows, you know, we've been doing a whole lot of 91 through 96 second Escort generation, second generation Escort GT and LX. We've been doing a whole lot of YouTube footage on it, a lot of you know, content and footage on those. So we're gonna start you know, directing our attention, not all our attention, but we're gonna start showing the first generation Escorts attention as well. This here is a 1987 Escort GT. I picked this up from a buddy of mine last year, I want to say. Yeah, last year. And I haven't done anything with it except for just bring it here and park it. So I was undecided what I wanted to do with it, but of course we know I'm going to fix it up. But I always thought about it. I said, you know what, man, a lot of people, a lot of my friends and stuff are always like, man, why don't you ever build a square body Escort like the burgundy one you got? But I don't want to mess with the one I just had done back in 2020, the burgundy one with the lip on it that I lowered and stuff. I don't want to mess with that. So this right here is going to be the candidate for a turbocharged first generation Escort. I'm not sure when I'm going to start this project. I'd like to go ahead and get as much as I can out of Slushbox and Donatello and Raphael first. This car, I'm going to name it Splinter, because everybody knows I'm a Ninja Turtle fan. So I'm a big Ninja Turtle fan. Been one since the 80s, since they came out. And Splinter was actually the sensei for, you know, Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo, and Michelangelo. So by this being a first generation Escort and the oldest, well, not the oldest, but one of the oldest of the Escort fleet, I decided to name it Splinter. And it's got the, you know, Splinter always wore the red. He always wore the red cape. All these like the he always had something red or orange on. I can't remember what, it's been so long, but kind of reminds me of Splinter. So this car is gonna be named Splinter. So like, all right, so my plans with this beast is to I plan to do a nice little turbo setup on this. We'll leave the motor stock. I'm just gonna tune it up, you know, and you know, get the car, you know, cleaned up and everything. And I'm gonna put a turbo on it, and we're gonna see what kind of limitations we have with this car. This car has a 5-speed in it. I think it's the MTX 4 or 5. I can't remember. It's one of those. But it's similar to the transmission that comes in the SHO Tauruses from about 89 through 95. So yeah, man, like this, I think this will be a pretty cool project. A lot of people won't see this car coming at all, and it'll be definitely a shock. So once it gets done, whenever I start on it, you know, of course I'll be doing videos and of the progress of it being done and stuff like that from start to finish and all that. So everybody will be able to see the car grow and progress as time goes on. So I don't know if anybody actually got to see the first video I made on this car. Like when I first got it, it was on the trailer. So so yeah, I just wanted to kind of show everyone, you know, kind of what the car looked like. I mean, got a little dent over there, you know, and you know, it's got some nice wheels on it. The interior is pretty good, pretty fairly nice. You know, not really beat up, just the one dent in the front fender. You know, you know, car, well, pretty decent shape. Interior here, the seats just need to be cleaned. floorboard needs to be cleaned. I probably have to replace that carpet. Of course, the infamous dash cracking of the 80s models Escort, and the steering wheel coming apart. So that's minor stuff. Let me see if I can get to the back seat for y'all. Dang, hold on. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's the back seat and all that good stuff. So yeah, man. Definitely plan on turbocharging this car. Now, I know a lot of people go with like the smaller turbo setups, like, you know, the VJ11 or stuff like that, but plans with this is probably gonna be like a T3, T4. I've got a custom manifold in the house for a 1.9 liter that I got from a buddy of mine. I think his name is David Cruz. Bought it from David Cruz a few years back, and you know, able to get it because of course he was going to build a 2.0 SPI at the time, and then he never did it, so I ended up with the manifold. So yeah, man. So just wanted to basically get on and touch base and let you guys know, hey, look, some first gen content that's getting ready to start coming to my YouTube channel. And one of these days I have to get my 86 in the shop and pull the wheels off so I can go through the suspension setup and what all I did and everything like that. So and as far as everybody also knows, I know I've posted it a few times, some guys might have forgot, but I actually posted which cars the suspension will work off of onto these with some minor fabrication. So I know David Anchorman, I know he posted some rear struts that he just got from overseas in Europe, some new KYBs, and gave the part number and everything. But just in case you guys want to kind of venture out and get more suspension options, which everybody knows suspension options for this car are very limited. They don't make a very wide variety of anything. It's pretty much, you're going to have to try to make something work. I know Ground Control still offers the Ground Control sleeve coilover style that you put on the stock struts on the front. The rear, you know, if you can find somebody with some old school ST Lawrence Springs suspension techniques, or another guy just posted on the FEOA site that he had some springs that came off of MK4 Escort, I believe it was, MK3 or MK4 Escort, and they actually work on the rear. I'm not sure about the front. I think the front was a little bit different, but I know they worked on the rear because he actually posted, put a post up on FEOA about of them being on the car installed. So, but on my car currently right now, I'm running the old school suspension techniques, Lawrence Springs in the back, and then BMW max speeding rod dampers in the front with Ground Control springs. So I changed the spring rate so it'll ride a whole lot softer, and car rides great. But that's going to be for another subject. I'm going to actually do a video do some content on that as well. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to get on here this morning real quick, man, and just wanted to, you know, just came back from the dump there in old Betsy. So I figured, I said, hey, let me do this YouTube video real quick before I head out for the day. But yeah, guys, so this is, you know, this is the power plant, just in case anybody doesn't know. Oh, good night. This hood can be hell. Okay. Yeah, so this is the power plant. 1.9 EFI. HO stands for high output, as some know, some don't. But yeah, man, so this is the beast. So I will be turbocharging this car. When? I can't say when. I don't have a definite date at all, but once I start gathering parts and I get in the shop, I'm going to start on it. So as far as turbo manifolds go, turbo manifolds, you can get a turbo manifold for any 1.9, 1.6. You can get one on eBay. They sell a nice stainless one on eBay. I think it's like 250 bucks, and it comes with an external wastegate. But if you want to run internal wastegate, you can always block off the 2-bolt flange that comes on the manifold. They make block off plates for those. me personally, I'm going to probably get that manifold if I don't decide to use the custom one that I have. I can't remember who made, I want to say it's JPS Racing that made the one I have. I'm not sure, but I have to check on that. But yeah, I would like to definitely want to turbo this car just to show the world, and just to show, you know, FEOA that this can be done, and which we all know it can be done, but you know, it can be done, and you can run some decent boost numbers on this type engine. And another thing I like to point on, see, this engine comes 9-to-1, so it has pop-up dome pistons. Everybody thinks 9-to-1 compression is a lot, and it's not a lot of compression. You got guys running 10+to-1 compression ratio with turbo setups. I've seen cars at 12-to-1 with turbo setups. Technology today is a little different than it was back in the day. I remember a lot of guys back then would take and run the 1.9 CFI pistons, which were the flat top, which dropped it down to like 8 and some change to 1 compression, whatever it was. But you can run boost on this engine the way it sits. The pop-up domes in the engine, just, you know, that's just the design of the piston to make it 9-to-1. They did that to fill the combustion chamber a little better, to make it, to keep that 9-to-1 compression ratio. Because I believe the 1.6 is actually, the 1.6 HO turbo is actually lower compression than this. Can't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, you can run turbo on this engine. 9-to-1 is not going to hurt anything. I'm running 9-to-1 right now in Donatello, and I have 0 issues. Jasmine with the the white Escort GT, the automatic, that's running 9-to-1. So that's definitely not going to hurt nothing with a turbo setup. Sorry guys, I had to blow that nasty stuff out. So but yeah, so, and if anybody notices this manifold here was one of the best flowing manifolds for a 1.9 liter. That's the best you could get right there. It was a factory 4 2-in-1. I'm sorry, yeah, factory 4 2-in-1 exhaust manifold. So yeah, I actually have this manifold right here. I'm using it as a turbo manifold on my 92 LX, which comes with a SCFI 1.9 liter. So yeah, I'm using that same exact manifold. I just cut it at the bottom. See down here, I cut it further down, and I jade it back up, and my turbo sits up top. If anybody has seen the turbo setup on my 1.9 liter, my 92. But yeah, that manifold there is like the best flowing exhaust manifold you can get for a 1.9. It probably still is. I mean, I can't remember the name of the company, but they do make a decent one now, a decent stainless one. I know Pacesetter made one back in the day, but Pacesetter didn't flow nowhere near as good as this one did. So I noticed the difference when I went from my Pacesetter to this. I mean, the car came alive a little more. So yeah, you can definitely make a nice turbo manifold out of these. I've been trying to get my hands on a few of them, but they're hard to find. Some people have them, but some people don't want to ship them. They rather you pick them up locally, but to drive 6+ hours for a manifold that somebody can ship is just it can be a pain in the butt, and at the same time it could be worth it too, you know what I'm saying? So, but I just have to find the right time if I'm gonna go get a few spares. So, but anyway, yeah, you can turbocharge this engine. I know a lot of people use like the turbo coupe ECUs, the XR4 Ti ECUs and stuff like that, and the turbo coupe and the XR4 Ti mass airflow meter as well, which vane airflow, which I have a turbo coupe vane airflow. When I first do the setup, I'm gonna do it on the factory computer, and I'm gonna do it on I'll probably do it on the factory computer and on the stock VAF, just to see what kind of numbers I can achieve that way first, and then I'm going to go with a standalone after that. Stinger Performance actually has the EOTTRACINGTEAM setup plug and plays for these cars. My 1.9, my 92 1.9 is my 92, the second gen Escort 1.9 LX is actually going to get a Stinger performance computer. If anyone is interested in going standalone on any ecosystem that's, you know, EFI, the 1.9 HO, or the 1.9 SEFI, or the 2.0 SPI, contact Stinger Performance. Email, his guy's name is Shannon, and I've been dealing with him for the last little over a month now, and real cool guy. He tells you everything you need to know. Just make sure you let him know what your plan is, what you're trying to do with the car, you know, what your turbo setup is, stuff like that, and what your ignition system setup is. So that way he can line you up with the right ECU. Because and the cool thing is, when I told him about mine, he asked me, he says, you know, well, which ignition system do you have? And I told him I had EDIS. So the computer that he has for it is called XS or something like that. Plugs it right up, but only thing I got to do is change one injector wire and swap the coolant wires, and that, I mean, the cooling fan wires, and that's it. And it's ready to go. I just gotta go through the initial startup, you know, and stuff like that, and then have it tuned. But yeah, man, if anybody wants to go standalone, Stinger Performance has some software out there for these cars. I know that was a big issue, and finding decent parts for this car was issues too. But yeah, that was a big that's a big game changer. And big shout out to Aaron Tinkler with the Silver ZX2. Everybody should know him. He's on the group as well. He's the one that actually turned me on to Stinger Performance, because he had an ECU for his XR4 Ti back in the day, he was telling me. So he said it worked great. So yeah, so I just basically wanted to get on, you know, and just kind of share this with everyone. And yeah, man, like I said, this motor can be turbocharged, and I plan on going with like a T3, T4, something like that. Front mount intercooler, which I got plenty of room there, as everybody can see. I mean, this thing is almost like it's made for front mount. It's got plenty of space. I gotta get me some new fog lights because it didn't come with none. So, but yeah, got plenty of space for a nice front mount. So, but yeah, I just want to get on and share this with everybody and let you guys know that when we start doing a lot more 1.9 content now. I've done a lot of 1.8, you know, GT stuff, which I love all Escorts, but I've always wanted to venture out for every platform of the Escort. Eventually I'd like to do like you know, a 2.0 SPI platform, the ZX2 platform as well. So everything Escort related. So that way we got our hands in all the Escorts. And yeah, that headlight's a little ugly. I gotta fix that. But yeah, so just wanted to basically share this with you guys and let you know what's going on with this car. I've had a few questions, people asking me, hey, what are you gonna do with that car, man? What do you do with the first gen? So had a few people offer to buy it, want me to sell it, and I was like, nah, I can't do that. I got plans for it. So, but just wanted to get on and share those plans with you guys. And you know, I can't wait to start this project. Like I said, I'm not sure when it's going to be, but trust me and believe that I will post videos when I start working on it. So definitely. So I already know what Scott Bassinger is going to say when he sees this YouTube video. He's going to say, hey, send me this valve cover. Scott, don't worry. I got a valve cover and an intake manifold that I am going to send you. So you don't even have to worry about messaging me or calling me on the phone or texting me saying, hey man, send me that valve cover and that intake manifold so I can powder coat. But don't worry, you're going to get those. Anybody doesn't know, Scott Bassinger, XI Works, he does the best powder coat work that, you know, I've ever seen up close. I'm sure there's some other people out there that do good powder coating as well. I'm not bashing no one, but Scott Bassinger is who I've been dealing with, and his work is very professional in A1. And anybody in the Escort, you know, Protege, Probe, MX6, anybody in those groups that have had work done by him, I'm sure they can say the same. So so he'll definitely be getting those 2 pieces from me when I start this project on this car, which I've already got some extras laying around. I just got to give them to him. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys. And like I said, a lot of people say, I'm scared to boost this engine, I'm scared to turbo it, I'm thinking it's going to blow, it's going to blow up and all this and all that. Like, no, it's not. It's not going to blow up, man. Like, they race these cars overseas. And that's, oh, wait a minute, before I get off of here, that's another thing I wanted to bring up. So everybody thinks this motor is 100% Ford. It's not, by no means. This engine was designed in Europe. This is a European engine. This is a European setup. This whole car is European. If y'all notice, the front suspension is the same. It's the same. It's very similar. I ain't gonna say the same. Well, it's very similar to Beamers, Ford Focus. What else? The Volkswagens, stuff like that. This front suspension is very similar. As a matter of fact, I got some coilovers in there that will go. The coilover. The coilover dampers go right in these spindles. I mean, they drop right in and bolt right up. Only thing you got to change is probably of course, the top hat, the strut mount. But I mean, that's it. So, but yeah, these engines are not Ford built. They're European. That's a European design all the way. They got them over in Europe. They race them over in Europe. They do some crazy stuff with these engines that a lot of people don't know. And I've researched this stuff years and years back, which really made me stick by the 1.9. And that's why my red car is getting the changes it has been getting. So that's coming. That'll be back on the scene very soon. Because I'm getting a Stinger Performance ECU for that too. So that's coming. Then I'm switching that over to E85 and all that. So but this car, of course, will start out on 110. It won't start off on E85 right away. So but yeah, man. So yeah, these engines are European design. They're not Ford built by no means. Simple as, all right, so the fog lights on this car, right? Of course, mine are missing. The fog lights on this car, if you actually pull them apart, it actually says made in France. The fog lights say made in France on them. Like, you might have Ford part numbers on this car, but you know, these are not legitimate Ford. This is not like a Ford engine that Ford built. Ford didn't put this motor together. They didn't design this motor. So it was designed in Europe. So a lot of guys say the Ford motor's junk. Well, it's not a Ford motor. It's just got a Ford valve cover on it. It just says Ford on it. Just like the 2nd generation Escort, it has a Ford emblem on the dual overhead cam valve cover. The BPO5 engine that comes in that. That's a Japanese engine. Ford didn't build that motor, but they put their name on it because that engine was built for them, you know, to put in the second generation Escort GT. So, you know, just because it's stamped doesn't mean it's really, that's what it is, unfortunately. So, but like that's different. So that truck there, we all know that's 100% Ford. So, but yeah, but this thing here, this thing is actually, this is the European design engine. So for anybody that didn't know that, some do know it, some don't. So, but I just figured I'd share that too. I knew it was something I was leaving out. I'm glad I reminded myself. Excuse me. I'm glad I reminded myself of that. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to basically get on, and I know I've said this 1,000 times already, but I just wanted to get on and share the ideas that I was getting ready to do with this car and what the project was going to be. So it's going to be turboed. So that's the plan. And once, like I said, once I finish, you know, once I'm done with the other 3, then this one will be next in line to get done. And I'm sure a lot of first gen people are going to want to see this car in action when it's finished. So, but I just wanted to get on and share that. And like I said, I'm probably going to start off with the computer being stock by tuning this VAF and running, I'll probably run some I might run like I think I have a set of 550 Grand National injectors laying around somewhere, so I might put those in here and see if I can tune it with the VEF. If not, I can drop back and just put the like the 35-pound injectors out of the XR4 Ti. So I can I can do that, and then see where that goes, see how it runs, you know, just to play with it on the stock stuff, on the factory stuff, just see how far it can go. That way when people see that, they're like, well, damn, we can do this with this computer and make this much power. You know, if they don't want to go crazy, which I'm not going to go extremely crazy, but I'd like to see this car get 300 plus horse, which ain't hard to do. So but yeah, I'll probably start off with, you know, some XR4 Ti injectors, the factory computer, and just leave this VA